What's good, everybody?
What's going on?
Is Riley,
and I am Danny.
We are Music Mayhem with R&D.
Yes, we are.
Tonight we are going to be doing a little bit of something different. I know we just got done with doing a reaction to an In This Moment song, but we are at this point going to be doing what we are essentially calling a review of Motionless and White's Another Life. This is a song that we have heard already. It's something that we actually gotten really into lately. Yeah. But what we wanted to do with this song tonight is we want to dig into the lyrics a little bit more. We want to dig into the story. I know this isn't the typical metalcore type of song that we usually listen to, so it's not one of those songs where it's really hard to understand what he's saying, but kind of want to see if we can get a little bit better of an idea of where he was coming from, because I feel like this song, the way that they project it, hits us a little bit close to home as well.
Yeah, you know, we always go on and on about, how these breakdowns and these riffs, and the drum part, and all that kind of shit. And yeah, obviously we listen to the lyrics as well. But I will say that out of everything that we listen to when it comes to the genre of music that we listen to and that we like, it's the lyrics that are kind of being underlined at that point, that we kind of appreciate more than anything else.
Yeah.
Is a lot of the music that we listen to brutal and aggressive? Absolutely it is.
Of course.
But same thing could be said for 90% of the songs that we listen to that have some sort of concrete lyrical content there that make it personable to either one of us.
Well, and I think even in the same aspect, how we talk about how things are really hard and stuff like that, how we listen to the lyrics and whatnot. Like, yeah, this song is not going to portray the hard side of what we do, but even the harder songs that we really listen to, when we pay attention to what they're saying, even though a lot of it is, it's hard to distinguish, at least the first time around, those songs have a lot of weight to them as well.
Absolutely.
So
nonetheless, we have decided that we're going to go ahead and do a couple of review videos.
Yeah, we're
to give you a little bit of an insight as to who
our
R&D are as people.
Yeah.
We're going to start off with this song. This is obviously a relationship song, a breakup song, if you will.
It is.
But it's
really good.
It's amazing, and I know that people that are listening to this right now or watching this right now have probably heard the song as well. So maybe we can go ahead and give you a little bit of an insight to what the lyrics are doing to us.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling with something that you haven't necessarily figured out, maybe you can find something in what he and I are talking about.
Yeah.
So we're just going to do something a little bit different.
Well, and you know what? Even branching off of that, before we jump right in real quick, because I know we've already gotten into 4 minutes of this intro. With that being said, you guys, if this does hit you in a way to where you're questioning your thought process or you're not okay or something like that, I understand that we're nobody, but fucking reach out. Reach out to somebody. Reach out to us. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I will gladly sit there and respond to every comment that somebody leaves me or leaves us, that you're just stuck in a bad place. We've been there. And this is what this song really kind of dives into, is somebody being in a bad place. So let's jump into it a little bit. We'll listen. We'll look at a little bit of the lyrics. We'll stop intermittently like we always do to just give our thoughts on it. But this is a song that I think we've enjoyed a lot recently, but it's also really hit us in a very perfect spot at certain points.
That's right.
So let's go for a little bit.
If I can't let you go, if I can survive, the definition of love is the truth. Begging for a kiss, but we both knew the cost. Now the only way out in my heart. But I hate to see you
That whole first area is just already fucking throwing you into a fucking whirlwind.
It truly is. I mean, because you obviously see that Chris is going through a little bit of a
mental turmoil, if you will.
You know what I mean? Like where do I go? You know, and
is what I'm thinking validated, or am I making the wrong move, or am I making the right move? Or
well, he obviously realized that he was making the wrong move when he said that I hate that I made your heart the casualty. So he knew.
But I hate that I made you the enemy. So it's like, okay, at one point there had to be something in his head that convinced him that whoever said person he's talking about, they were the one in the wrong. Like that's what it seems like to me, at least. It was like, okay, I was getting fed up with whatever I was dealing with, or something was happening to where I felt like shit, and I blamed it on you because I was feeling like shit. And now that I've had this time to process it, now I don't know whether you were actually the source of my discomfort.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to realize that maybe you weren't that person. I wish you were still around, type thing.
Sure. And I think we've kind of all have kind of experienced that at some point.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know goddamn well for sure that I have, and you know that I have. And I know that you have.
I've certainly been there.
You know, so it's a constant battle back and forth between do I make myself better, or do I try to stick it out to try to make sure that that everything that we need to do as a couple is actually going to work.
Well, and I think that I know that we didn't preface this in the the title. This might go a little long. But I think that that's also one of those where, yes, you can kind of see where he's coming from, but in the same aspect, it's like, as people, we live in the moment. We live in what's happening at that point in time. This is where he was like, hey, this isn't working for me, is you.
Yeah.
So you must be the I am living in agony, or I'm dealing with all these things that I'm dealing with, and so my only course of action is to get you out, because I think that might make me better.
Right.
And then you dig into the course, and it's like, okay, maybe you were not the issue. Maybe there was multiple things that were kind of bearing down on me or putting weight on my shoulders. I just assumed that you were that negative part of me, because I didn't know, or I couldn't legitimize anything outside of that being the cause of it.
He didn't see anything else being the cause of it, because everything else seemed to have been right. You know, and I know you have felt like that. I have certainly felt like that, especially dealing with, you know, with my ex and stuff. I've certainly been through the ringer there.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I love you, and I hate you, and I love to hate you. You know,
but there's unfortunately no middle ground.
There's no middle ground at all.
It's one or the other.
It's one of those where, okay, I'm either going to try to make you happy, or I'm going to make me happy. If I'm going to make me happy, you're not in the picture.
And if I'm going to try and make you happy, I'm miserable.
That's right.
Right.
And that's really how it is.
Yeah.
That's really how it is.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep going.
Yeah. Hello. Hey.
Okay, so while he's trying to figure this out,
There we go. As you were saying.
right.
Right. This is probably one of my favorite verses. Just because of the end. I know that we're right there. I have to stop it right there because I love the end of that verse.
Okay.
I can't close my eyes because that's where you haunt me most. If that doesn't play true to somebody who's been traumatized or deeply affected by the end of a relationship or what you've just gone through in a relationship, whether it was something that you called off, especially in my instance.
Yeah.
Lasting, that is the quintessential PTSD, if you will.
Sure.
Because you see that it's better for you to not be with said person, whether you were in the right for calling it a quit or not, or you maybe made a wrong decision. You can fucking sit there and you can, oh, I'm good. I am good. Go to that. And you'll have those moments where you'll dream about it.
Yep.
And you'll dream about the good things, and you can't get rid of that person's face.
That's right.
As much as you want to.
That's right.
And that's where that comes into play. Like that's where I can't close my eyes because that's where you haunt me most. It's so fucking true.
That's right.
It's so true.
That's right. Because I mean, that's because you spend most of the day or most of your time essentially trying to fake your brain out, to think that things aren't necessarily like that. But and you've had that person in your life for so long that their face is constantly imprinted in your brain. That's right. And just
it's never gonna go away.
And just like I told you about, fucking I'll say her name. Just like I told you about Carissa. I've said for years that this woman is better than what she portrays herself to be. Doesn't portray herself to be that at all. Right. You know what I mean? So it's a constant struggle.
Yeah.
So as far as closing your eyes and dream kind of stuff, I've fortunately have never had to really deal with the lingering effects in a dream sense.
I certainly have. I still deal with it.
You have
not as often anymore.
I have not, but that doesn't necessarily mean that when I'm awake, I don't think about it a lot.
Yeah. See, that's one of those where it's like, and I'm sure that even people that have been in more toxic relationships than I have, when you dream about that type of stuff, at least in my opinion, and I would assume, I guess it would probably be different if you were in a really bad relationship.
Sorry, right?
Yeah, I did. If you were in a really bad relationship, I could understand it being a PTSD for the worst parts. But if you've had a fairly normal relationship, if you will, but it just had bad times and whatnot, your brain, when you go to bed, at least in my personal experience, reverts to the better time. You get these really good dreams, and that person is in it. And you sit there and you kind of revert back to that question, like he's fucking doing, I think, in this song, where it's like, fuck, did I make the right choice? Did I do the right thing?
Yeah.
And you can see, at least from what we've seen in the video that we watched, it's like it's almost killing him that he's questioning whether he made the right thing. And now he doesn't know, it's just constantly there.
Yeah,
it's constantly hurting him.
Yeah, I haven't necessarily dealt with the PTSD aspect of that side, which that's what it is. It's fucking PTSD. That's exactly what it is. I know we've thrown that out a couple of times, but that's exactly what it is. I haven't dealt with that part of it.
You've done it without being necessarily asleep. Like you just sit there and have it constantly beat your mind apart.
That's right. And my brain doesn't give me the opportunity to shut off and then think about things because have I dreamt about that situation? I absolutely have. But it always turns out exactly the opposite of the way that you said it. Nothing is positive when it comes down to
right. You think of all the negative.
Everything is negative. So I wake up in the morning going, okay,
I made the right decision.
I made the right decision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because there's always meaning behind dreams and all that kind of shit and whatever. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But the more I dream negatively when it comes down to that kind of stuff, it kind of solidifies exactly where my brain's at.
Well, I think that once you get towards that last course, that almost plays into your hand more than it does mine. So let's go into it a little bit more.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it at that point.
That's right.
Oh, God damn.
And see, that's where everything comes full circle.
That's right.
And that's kind of where everything comes full circle. Hold on.
I just backed that more. Sorry.
Okay. I've never seen the ending of that.
I haven't either.
Whatever. And that's kind of where everything tends to come full circle, especially with this song. You've gone through such a long period of time of having the same mindset. You're almost tunnel visioned at that point.
Yeah.
To where everything out here is wrong, and
well, it's like, okay,
it's not necessarily like that.
No, it's not. And let's just take the last two statements that are off of that song. The first one is, excuse me again.
Okay.
I love cerveza.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways,
here comes the piss break.
It's certainly coming. The first one is not, I don't hate that I need you. I hope that we meet in another life.
Yeah.
To me, as you get through that progression of the song, considering how it kind of goes down, I hope that we meet in another life. And this is where I would assume that it would probably portray to you a little bit more than it does to me, because you've been the person who's always been like, this person has good qualities. Like, they have the capability of being good.
We're actually talking about real shit right now.
Yeah. So I think that I hope I see you in another life. That's one of those where it's like, okay, we're not going to be okay right now. Like, this is not going to work. But hopefully in another life, you will become the person that you're supposed to be. You're going to become the person that I know you have the capability of being, and I hope that I am capable of seeing that.
Yeah, and see, that's kind of where I have been stuck for quite a while, and you've known that.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You've known that. I've even reverted back to kind of getting back into the toxic aspect of things, because I have been hoping for that. I know you're a better person than this. Come on, babe. Please, come on. Let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. And it never played out like that.
Yeah. Then you get to the part where it says, I don't, where the rest of the song is, I hate that I need you.
And then you get
the last one is, I don't hate that I need you. Yep. So it's like, yes, I kind of need you, but I no longer am killing myself over the fact that
I'm not going to carry the burden. I'm not going to carry the burden.
Right. Exactly.
I'm not going to carry the burden.
Exactly.
And that's really what it is.
And that's very, I mean, I know that we've paused this song. If you have not heard this song in its entirety without pauses, and you have something, go listen to this song. This song is a powerful song.
It truly is.
Especially considering what they've made prior to this song. This is completely outside of anything you've ever heard from these guys.
But that plays into exactly what we said when we started off this video. You know, this band, when we first heard this band, the very first song that we heard was Voices by You.
Yep.
And there was nothing else we had heard about them.
That's right.
Until I found Reincarnate.
Yep.
And then I found Reincarnate, and it was holy shit,
this
is so much better than Voices.
And we dug in.
And we got into everything else. And this band, like this song in general, is completely different than anything else I've heard from this particular band.
Absolutely.
And you can tell it's the same thing with all the other shit that we listen to, the Wage Force, the Amicements, the Ivervales. Like there's
even from from all of those bands, there was always a song that's completely different, but is completely raw. Like all of those bands. Okay, you have this sound, but you're gonna give me this one that's just gonna make me be like, what the fuck did you just do to me right now?
And isn't it crazy that the reason why we have that like what the fuck moment is because the songs they come out with are really relevant to what we're dealing with?
Well, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of songs other than just these types of
the hurricanes and the diseases. And the prisons, and you know what I'm saying?
Strip version of Johnny Cash from Wage War.
It's a great song.
Like you said, Disease from fucking Beartooth,
right?
Which is a fucking phenomenal.
Or even Aggressive.
If you're not a metalcore fan, I get it, but do yourself a favor. If we don't give it to you, go look into some of these bands. Pull the lyric videos up.
And that's the biggest
because
thing. That's the biggest
you'll hear if you don't pull the lyric video up, you will just hear a lot of fucking bang, which we love. But the lyrics are over the top for us.
Absolutely. And I've said it on multiple occasions that for the people that don't listen to the music that you and I listen to, it sounds like a lot of noise.
It's a lot of screaming. It's a lot of
very brutal.
Yeah.
It's aggressive as fuck.
Yeah.
It's a lot of screaming. It's a lot of growling. And if you're not paying attention to the lyrics, you don't hear lyrics.
Well, and the crazy part about it is that is as aggressive as hard as those songs are. If you listen to the lyrics are actually very like gentle. They're gentle. They're very articulate.
That's right.
And it tells a very personal story.
That's right.
It's very, very. Like, I'll compare it to this. I know you're not a person, but think about old school country. Old school country was people that were playing music that people enjoyed listening to by the ear, even though it was not nearly as brutal as metalcore, but it was a sound that people could get into. But the story behind it was still very real.
And
it was still very real,
and it's relatable.
It was something that they went through, and it was something. You know what I mean? So that's how I relate it, even though it's completely different sides of the spectrum. You want to fucking do this? Message us. Message us. We will tell you songs that are worth listening to if you're feeling a certain way. This is a very certain song that makes us feel a very specific way. But a lot of these other songs that we listen to, they get much harder, make us feel the same way. It just doesn't sound like it because it's much more fucking aggressive
and in your face.
It makes you. That's right. It makes you want to get the aggressiveness out, if you will.
That's right. That's right. And with that said, we're going to go ahead. We're going to cut this video. And I think that due to what we've been talking about, I think we should do a review of Alive.
Okay. So let's go take a little stogie break. We'll be back in about, 10, 15?
10, 15. It's not going to take 10 or 15 because it's cold as a goddamn shit outside.
It is. I feel like I'm a fucking Eskimo out here.
We're in Florida. We're in Florida.
So you can call us bitches all you want, because I'm sure that a lot of you guys are much colder than we are. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I will certainly take it.
All right.
And I'm Danny and BM. Love you.
Yeah, appreciate you guys.